Hello everybody, it's Ango. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody watching this video. We have some major news. We have some really good news for AEW. For those who have wanted to hate on AEW, this video may not be for you. Also, on top of that, we have an update on Samoa Joe, and we know that former WWE superstars are signing with Impact Wrestling. Which two names will be joining Impact Wrestling? We're going to talk about it in today's video. If you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring that bell, get notified, and don't forget to check out our Discord server in the link in the description. We're building a community. It's really awesome. We're doing great stuff. Just remember, this is the channel to get all of your wrestling stuff every single day. Now, we're going to kick things off with Samoa Joe because you guys know that Samoa Joe, he hasn't been wrestling for WWE lately, and nobody really knows what's going on. But we do know that Samoa Joe did, in fact, vacate the championship. Now we have an idea of what he's actually up to. WWE just did some Performance Center tryouts, and here he is, pictured next to William Regal and some other people. And it looks like Samoa Joe has picked up a new role in WWE. Also, the word that's going around, Meltzer believes that it's a situation in which Samoa Joe is actually going to be a non-wrestling person. So he's going to be some like backstage personnel type stuff. Clearly, coaching, training, something to do with the Performance Center. It makes a lot of sense. Now, the reason why I want to actually talk about this was because Samoa Joe did re-sign with WWE after being re-signed. He won the championship, dropped the belt. Nobody knew what was actually happening. For those who thought maybe he might go to AEW or back to Impact or something like that, clearly not the case. I don't really know. Was he actually injured? Was he not? The word about him being signed for a non-wrestling role would make sense because they were trying to usher in this new world of NXT 2.0 and whatnot. But look, my point that I'm making here is Samoa Joe is not wrestling for NXT. I don't expect to see him back. Who knows what happens? Who knows if he stays? But if you're Samoa Joe, he hasn't announced retirement. He hasn't talked about quitting, so you never know, man. WWE might release him. Maybe one day he leaves. Maybe he pulls a Scotty 2 Hottie, goes to GCW. Who knows what can happen, but that's the beauty of wrestling. Anything can happen anytime. Just like our next story for today's video. Really cool stuff, in my opinion. This is the type of stuff that I like. Mike and Maria Canelos, Mike Bennett, Maria Canelos, are going to Impact Wrestling, and I'm actually really excited about this. They were in Impact before, then they went to WWE. They were released, and I think it was like the first round of budget cuts, roughly. But they were released by WWE. Obviously, they were not happy in WWE. Mike Bennett, Maria Canelos were not happy whatsoever. I'm excited about them going to Impact. I stay true to my word. I genuinely think Impact Wrestling is the best weekly wrestling television show every single week. Next to NXT 2.0, those are the two shows that I truly enjoy watching the most. Not saying AEW is bad. Not saying SmackDown and Raw is bad. These are just the two shows that I genuinely enjoy the most. So Mike Bennett, Maria Canelos going to Impact is going to be cool. They've been there before. I'm excited about them going. But I think the reason why you guys should be excited right now is because you got to pay attention to what's happening in Impact. I know a lot of you guys will write comments in the comment section talking about how it sucks and how it's not good, but you don't watch it. And you don't even know who's in the product. You guys don't know what's happening. But everything that they're doing with Matt Cardona, Josh Alexander, Will Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass, Moose. I mean, guys, the storytelling has been absolutely incredible, and that's what I love about Impact. So I think when you add Maria and Mike in the mix, I think there's something really cool that could be done there. And on top of that, we still don't know what's happening with ROH, but we do know that Jonathan Gresham is defending the ROH World Championship against Chris Sabin at Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill. That pay-per-view is going to be exciting. In fact, I'm actually going to do a watch-along for all of the members on this channel, so if you guys want to learn more information on that, become a member starting at $1.99 a month or $5 a month to join the main eventer. Now, with that being said, Mike and Maria going to Impact is interesting because, well, there was rumors about AEW bringing them in. Never happened. So at this point, I'm going to say not to expect that to happen, but we'll see what happens. Now, it is time to get to some really good news for AEW. This is really good news. It's actually important news because I think this is one of the most important things that a lot of people have not been talking about. But since October, Impact, AEW, WWE, they're all been putting on their shows and the ratings have been up and down. But the one show that really seemed to have lost some viewership was AEW. Now, for those who are going to try to question me on this, any person with a brain will tell you the reason why ratings went down for AEW was because they decided to go live on the West Coast, which I think in the West Coast, that means it starts live at 5 p.m., which is when people are working. They don't have the ability. They're stuck in traffic. They're not going to be able to watch AEW, is my point. So obviously viewership went down a little bit. The good news is CM Punk, Sting, FTR, Darby Allin, MJF, really big card, by the way. Very popular segment, popular match, popular booking. But this show did over 1 million viewers. And the reason why this is good news is because AEW is moving to TBS. In order to really gauge what's going to work and what's not going to work, it's going to take a couple more episodes to really find where AEW's audience is truly at. Based on the fact that they went live on the West Coast and that obviously hurt them a little bit, ratings had obviously dropped. The thing now that a lot of people are excited about is, okay, we're going to move to TBS and it's going to be kind of like a clean slate for the company. When they move on to a clean slate, we'll have a real good indication of which audience members are watching AEW. Will the move to TBS actually mean more viewership? Will it mean less viewership? And the belief is that the viewership will actually drop a little bit more, but based on the fact that AEW did jump up to 1 million viewers, they're not actually losing fans. So, on top of that, my belief is that AEW is going to slam the hell out of every episode on TBS. Right now, there's some talk about Brody King making his debut. There's talks, obviously, Kyle O'Reilly just made his debut. My point is this. AEW has tons of surprises, but they want to get those big pops and those big ratings, which will obviously happen as they do things on TBS. Right now, there's maybe 1 or 2 episodes left on TNT. That's going to be the big thing that AEW is going to try to get away from. So I think they have 1 more episode on TNT, and then they move to TBS. So keep that in mind. This is like really good news. AEW's product is not actually going down and suffering like a lot of you guys will say in the comment section. Man, I don't know. I've been enjoying a lot of wrestling lately, even WWE, AEW, Impact. Everything's been good lately. So you know what, man? Just try to enjoy it. Try to, look, you guys see me on this channel, and I talk about how I think, like, CM Punk, I think he's great, but I'm more interested in MJF. I'm more interested in the Darby Allins and the young guys, right? What we saw with CM Punk and Sting and FTR, like, that's not something I would typically be into or be interested in. It's just not for me. I'm allowed to feel that way. But I loved it. I loved that match. That main event was sick. I thought the booking was great. I'm very intrigued to see what happens with CM Punk and MJF. Like, AEW has me wanting more of that. And that's why I think AEW hitting 1 million viewers again is really good news, because this is the type of stuff that intrigues people. It's not always about the big flips and the splashes and the dives and all this stuff. Yeah, that's cool and that's great, but we like storytelling. And right now what they're doing with MJF and CM Punk is really huge. So I actually expect AEW's viewership to even go up a little bit more, but time will tell. We'll see what happens with the move to TBS. Anyways, guys, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Ango. I hope you all have a very happy and safe holiday season. I will see you guys soon right here, youtube.com/AngoYT. Don't forget Discord link and channel membership links in the description down below.